It is 4 p.m. We're bringing developing news and the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon, the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao. Some stories we're watching this Thursday, November 27. 8 DPWH Mimaropa officials enter not guilty pleas at the Sandigan Bayan over an alleged defective flood control project in Oriental Mindoro. The accused include Gerald Pacanan, Jean Ryan Altea, Ruben de los Santos Jr., Dominic Serrano, and Juliet Calvo. Also included were Dennis Abagon, Lerma Caico, Montrexis Tamayo, and Felizardo Casuno. Preliminary conferences for all parties have been scheduled for January or from January to February next year. House Majority Leader Sandro Marcos says he is willing to appear before the Independent Commission for Infrastructure at any time. In a letter to the ICI, Marcos says he welcomes the opportunity to provide clarification and cooperate with the Commission's review. The ICI will convene soon to decide on the schedule of Marcos's appearance. Meantime, Congress Representatives Maria Victoria Copilar and PM Vargas were the latest to appear at the ICI today over the flood control probe. The Bureau of Internal Revenue is reviewing the 30 million peso donation made by contractor Lawrence Lubiano to Senator Chis Escudero's campaign in 2022. BIR Commissioner Charlito Martin Mendoza says the agency will check Lubiano's declared income tax returns to confirm that the donation matches his reported assets and taxes paid. A COMELEC department earlier cleared both Escudero and Lubiano, saying the contribution was made in a personal capacity. And speaking of the BIR, it has filed new charges against 2 contractor firms and their officers linked to ghost flood control projects in Bulacan. The complaints involve Sims Construction Trading and owner Sally Santos, as well as IM Construction Corporation and its officers for alleged tax evasion of nearly 14 million pesos. Investigators allege the companies received payment for projects that were never done and submitted false returns with fictitious costs. And the Senate approved the Office of the Vice President's proposed 889 million peso budget for 2026 in less than 5 minutes. The chamber restored the OVP's NEP level budget, despite the House lowering it to 733 million pesos. VP Sara Duterte attended the session, but no senators asked any questions.
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Dalawa lang po yung sasabihin ko. Unang-una sa inyong lahat, sa Senate beat ng Friends from the Media. The reason na pumunta ako dito ay para batiin kayong lahat ng Blessed Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I wish you good health in the year 2026. And we'd like to thank the Senate of the Philippines for approving the OVP year 2026 budget.
And the supposed sponsor of the OVP's budget is still not around. Of course, we're referring to Senator Bato de la Rosa. De la Rosa was also scheduled to defend the proposed 2026 budget of the Department of Defense today, but this will have to be taken over by Finance Chairman Win Gatchalian. That's because Senator Bato is absent and has been missing plenary and other sessions for a few weeks now. Senate President Tito Soto says he too has yet to hear from De La Rosa.
SP yung kay Senator Bato lang. Nagpaalam po ba siya na absent siya even budget day?
Hindi, walang. He has nothing in got.
Sandali.
He has not gotten in touch with me since the break.
What do you make of it, SP, na hindi siya nagpaalam? Pwede po yun, SP?
Oh yeah, malalaki na sila. It's their own lookout.
Is that okay na hindi nila na-defend yung agency na dapat nire-defend nila?
Hindi okay yun. In the first place, dapat hindi mo hiniling na makuha mo yung mga chairmanship na yun kung hindi mo naman, kung kaya mo. Sana, kung hindi mo kaya, hindi mo dapat hiniling na makuha mo yung chairmanship na yun. Especially vice chairmanship ng budget, national defense. Napakahalaga eh. Wala, he's not gotten in touch with me from the day that we adjourned before the break.
Walang mga sanction for long absences.
Wala naman. Wala naman. I do not recall anything to that effect. But I will check. I will look at it.
Wala
Baka
siyang
meron ako mga namimiss sa rules.
And joining us today, finally, our international man of mystery, Tito Rol Llamas. Nakamute ka. Nakamute ka. Talaga, na ibang bansa lang eh. Oh, let's try again. Our international man of mystery, Rol Llamas.
Magandang hapon, Ed, sa lahat ng ating tikapakilig, no? Kamusta rin kay Harry Roque? Na ayaw yata ako makasama.
I can barely hear Ronald. Can you guys hear Ronald? Bok, penging PA? Wala pang PA? Kasi I can't hear Ronald eh. I can barely hear Ronald. Ronald, can you hear me? You can hear me naman, oh?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, I can't do lip sync eh.
Oh.
Okay. Pengin na lang PA. I can't hear him on my override kasi ano eh. Alam mo, na-miss ka namin, Bok. Asa ka ba ngayon?
Talaga?
Ayun.
May nakakamiss pala sa akin.
Meron naman ko.
Akala ko si Harry Roque lang ang nakakamiss sa akin eh.
Anong napanood ba kahapon ng interview ni Harry Roque?
Yes, boring.
Well, kinda. But at the very least, umaamin siya na mali ang inaplayan niya. parang
Tingin ko lang, ha? Hindi naman sa pagbubuhat ng sariling bangko. Kung magkasama kami, hindi boring.
Oh, ikaw kasi sutil ka eh. Pero, diba, at the very least, umamin siya na after 8 months, he's in the wrong place.
Parehas kami yung paborito, parehas na yung paborito ang Humba eh. Pag-uusapan namin yung Humba.
Teka, you are in Europe, right?
Yes, I'm in France.
Oh, you're in France. But hindi ka pa tumuwid at mangumusta. By the way, kukumusta ka na si Reg. Regina Lace over here.
Hello.
Batiin mo naman ang ating international na mystery.
Hi, Ronald.
Ganun lang yun.
At least, masarap matulog pag hindi napapagalitan ng principal.
Bakit? Pinagalitan ba kita last time we saw each other?
Ay, gumunon na naman, oh. Patay ka na. Pag gumunon yan.
Teka lang.
Ayan. Umaarap
So,
ka na.
why don't you cross?
Actually, may trip sana ako sa The Hague.
Oh.
Overnight.
I was gonna say.
Kinancel ko dahil, ang daming dito, ang daming mga forum tsaka meetings.
So, are you still going or hindi na?
Nabili na yung train tickets at saka yung hotel.
Oh, sayang.
Kaso hindi ako natuloy.
Sayang. Tamang-tama pa naman na bukas nakaschedule yung ICC tuloy. Na mag-promulgate.
Saka ang ganda nun, no?
Oh, yeah, Friday na pala.
Bomber. Ang ganda nun, no? Habang ini-interview nyo si Harry Roque, nandun ako sa likod, gumaganong-ganon ako.
Wala, sayang hindi ka natuloy sa Hague. So, hindi ka na pupunta?
Yeah, any chance you're still going?
Hindi na, pabalik na ako bukas dyan eh. Punta ako rally.
Yung sa November
Sunday.
30, sa Sunday.
Yes.
So, kung pupunta siya sa rally sa Sunday, ibig sabihin walang malaking mangyayari kasi nandito siya. Pag nag-upload
ba yun? That's how we read the tea leaves.
Pag nag-upload, kinakabahan ako kasi baka may ibig sabihin yun eh.
Tumatakas siya.
Kaso may magrarally rin sa Luneta, mukhang lulusol sa Menjola yun.
Ikaw ba ay...
Again, sorry, what was that?
Yung sa Luneta, may mga magrarally, mamarsya sa Menjola yun. Yung resign all. Yung mga resign all na sa Luneta.
Oh, may resign all. Teka, you're referring to the National Democratic Movement.
Yes.
No, I mean, I don't mean not NDF. I mean,
Baka
they're naman snap them
naman dyan, red tagging.
No. They know naman snap them and they acknowledge to be not them. I'm not saying NDF talaga. This is not them side. They're National they're NDs. Hindi acknowledge that naman eh. There's no ano there. There's no
Saan yun?
discourse.
Sa Menjola?
Menjola. So sabi ni Ronald, understanding niya. Kasi yung grupong Bagong Alyansa mga kabayan, they've already announced several times na they are for resign all. And the takeover of our transition council composed only of civilians. Let's make that distinction. Only of civilians,
Hindi na civil military junta.
Iba yung civil military junta. Yun
That's
yung,
from the UPI.
UPI?
Oo.
Well,
United
Kaya ko,
People's
some people in the UPI.
lang nasa kuweba. Yung iba pala nasa kuweba pa rin.
Sino? Ako? Si Ed.
yung iba pala nasa kuweba rin, no? Parang kayang magkaroon ng transition council na puro civilian lang.
Yes, exactly. I don't even know where that came from. Yung idea na yun, no?
Na pure
it's not-
civilian.
Oo. Transition Council made up only of civilians.
Well, it's the ideal, I suppose. As far as at least revolutionary governments are concerned, it's the ideal.
But
Yung nga
you're
lang, whether
assuming
you'll
the-
be able to get that.
But you're
is the
assuming that
question.
yung first four in line of succession will step down.
That's it.
That's a huge assumption.
Yung first four na yan, the President, Vice President, Senate President, and Speaker.
Speaker of the House.
Oh, hindi sinasabi ni Atty. Passion na number 3 kagad yung Speaker. Parang, teka na, parang, nawing ko nga ko rin. Saan po tayo Senate President? Well, anyway. So, yun. And if I remember right, yung sa statement ng bayan muna is, ng bayan, bago sa mga bayan, is transition council composed of different sectors, including those from the democratic movement, the national democratic movement. See, that's where I also got a phrase. So, ikaw talaga, Ronald, malisyoso ka. Tagging. Sarap ng tawa nito.
Lambing lang, na-miss lang kita, Ed.
Oh, yeah, sige. Okay, so babalik ka bukas, ha?
Yes.
Flying back bukas.
Babalik ka bukas, ha? Kasi kung hindi ka magparamdam over the weekend, ibig sabihin, kakaban kami.
Ibig sabihin, yung mga galit sa akin, i-welcome ako dyan. Marami yun. Yung mga galit sa akin.
I was gonna say nga, baka marami-rami yun, ha?
Tsaka nakapila sila.
Medyo.
Ako nakapila? Well, I
Sorry,
know.
di pala
Medyo.
nakapila si Reg. Nangunguna si Reg.
Grabe naman. Hindi naman ako galit kay Ronald.
Hindi lang nakunguna, may dalang banner.
Oh, di ba?
May dalang ano.
Kanya yung placard.
May dalang banner.
Hindi banner, may dalang ano.
Dito kayo sa likod
Hindi,
ko.
ano yung tawag doon? Yung effigy.
Oh, may effigy mo pa, oh.
May effigy.
Ayaw mo nun, Bok. May effigy ka pa.
Talagang mangkukulam no?
Alam ko siya.
Mangkukulam, may FEG.
Hindi, yung
Tapos
sinusunog.
tutusukin ang karayong.
Hindi.
Hindi, yung
Bago
sinusunog.
sunugin, hinahampas muna yan ng
Yung-
kawayan. Hahampas-hampasin mo yung kalankanan.
Yung sinusunog sa rally. Oo.
Bago mo sunugin, pagtitripan mo muna yan.
Pagtitipan mo.
Oo.
So, hindi ko nga alam yan.
Sa katerbang hampas muna yan para malamog. Tapos...
Parang therapeutic para kay Reg.
Oo.
Feeling ko din.
Therapeutic yun.
Feeling ko
Pero tingin ko mas therapeutic kay Reg pag hindi EPG eh.
Pero mas therapeutic when you're here next to me. Pwede ko lang
Yeah. Hampasin. Hampasin ang papel.
Okay. Oh, teka. Ano lang story
Okay,
ngayon?
so, ano ba story today?
May statement coming from
Cassandro.
Cassandro Marcos. Yeah.
Correct.
Tapos,
He's
of course-
willing to appear before the Independent Commission for Infrastructure, welcomes opportunity to provide clarification and cooperate with the Commission. And then also si Congresswoman Marvic Copilar and PM Vargas appeared at the ICI today. Ayan yung statement ni Sandro. But you know also si Congressman Raul Manuel posted on Facebook saying that he could trace naman daw niya talaga yung insertions that Zaldico was pertaining to as far as Sandro Marcos is concerned. Hanapin ko nga.
Yeah, there are several posts about yung the actual insertions were really made.
The actual, sabi ni Congressman Manuel, the BICAM insertions para sa district ni Sandro Marcos in the 2024 budget do exist. Nahanap niya based on the files that were on the DBM website.
Versus yung
Yes.
GAA.
Versus-
GAA versus yung NEP. Yan ang
Correct.
comparisons.
Yes.
Approved
So,
versus
yung
approved.
additional items that Congressman Manuel is talking about have the matching counterparts in the list that was released by Zaldico. And then he also says because the presidential certified it as urgent yung budget, inaprubuhan na ng Kamara yung NEP ng walang amyenda back in 2024.
So,
For the
fast forward
2024
na yun.
budget, na fast track na siya. So yun yung point ni Congressman Manuel.
Okay, so you also have that.
We should look into
by the
it.
way, di ba, we've all been talking about what happened na to the MR, motion for reconsideration dun sa impeachment case na pinunente ni Marvic Leonen. Guess who I saw kanina sa sa CMFR Jaime V. ang Awards?
Chismis ba to? Oh.
Hindi, nakita ko nga chismis. Ha? Hindi,
Sino
si
yung-
Marvic
okay.
Leonen, si Justice Marvic Leonen
Justice
mismo.
Leonen, okay,
He attended the Jaime B. journalism panel kanina.
Tinanong mo, asan na yung MR?
Ay, sir. Kaso...
Did you ask him where the
Hindi,
MR
I couldn't
is?
kasi I was...
Isa ka pa, para kang Ronald.
I was partly moderating nung hindi pa tapos, tumalis na parang...
Di sana sinama mo sa questions mo. So, Justice, the whole country is waiting for the resolution on the MR filed by the House. It's been several months.
Sayang,
When can we expect it?
ay, nangahabali ko parang...
So, nasa panel mo siya.
No, he was not in the panel. He was in the audience.
He was in the audience. Kala
Nasa
ko
second
nandun siya
row.
sa panel. Okay.
Nasa second row, along with some of the people from the Supreme Court. Binati ko nga. Of course, our honored guest, Justice Leonen. I feel like I'm really back in UP kasi he was there. So,
Sana sinunod mo na yung tanong.
Kaya nga eh.
hindi
Nasaan na yung resolution sa MR?
Kaya para kang
masitanong lang ng Melinda Diaz.
Para kang Arneo, napaka-pino mo. Oo. Hindi ka naman Arneo, di ba?
Hindi ate, ano ka ba? Hindi ate, UP yun eh, nasa UP.
Oo nga. Lalo na, nasa UP pala.
Mga sutil, no?
Oo. Pagkatapos mong batiin, sabihin mo naman,
By
kamusta
the
na
way,
po ang ating MR? Ganon.
Kamusta po ang ating MR?
Because it has been several months and
I
matagal
know.
din natin
I know.
inaantay yung decision. According to Ronald, meron ng decision, di pa lang nilalabas.
Wala pa yung perfect time.
Oo, we're just waiting for the perfect time to release it. Totoo ba yun? Is that still
Sabi ko lang naman, posible.
Yan naman yung mga ganyan. Yan naman yung mga ganyan ni Ronald, sabay lilingon-lingon. Parang baka may nasa likod ko. Yung mga ganyang hirit eh.
Parang, sabi ko lang naman, posibleng naghahanap ng timing. Posible lang naman.
But at the same time, I know matagal na rin yung MR doon sa impeachment decision. But at the same time, remember, yung kaso ni Duterte na sinampa sa Supreme Court,
ni attorney, was that Torion?
hanggang ngayon, hindi, that was more recent eh.
Oh.
Nung March pa, hanggang ngayon, ano pa rin eh, hindi pa resolve lahat eh.
Biro mo, Reg, ilang araw lang, ginawa yung almost 100-page decision doon sa impeachment ni Vice President
Yes.
Sara. Ilang
Oo.
araw lang, ha?
Oo,
May
it
bagyo
came
pa nun,
very
ha?
fast. Oo.
May bagyo pa nun, ha? Halos 1 linggo walang pasok. Pero natapos in a few days.
Di ba
Ngayon, ilang buwan na?
Di ba nagtawag
No?
pa nga sila ng special session for that? Yung decision on the impeachment.
Yes. Tapos na ilang buwan na. Sagot lang sa MR.
Baka nga kaya nagawa na mabilis kasi walang pasok. Yung pala yung dahilan, no?
Wala yung kanila mga staff. Papahinga. Pero ayun nga, hanggang ngayon wala pa. Dapat tinanong mo talaga, Ed.
Kaya may mga apparent errors dun sa decision dahil wala yung staff work, ano ba? Yun ang gusto palabasin.
Oo, yung kinuot nila
Ikuting
ABS-CBN.
ABS-CBN.
Mali pala. Oo.
On whether or not there was a plenary vote on the impeachment.
1PH, iba yun. Pag kinuot nila 1PH, iba yun. Talagang yun, gospel truth.
Ganun ba?
Wow naman.
Ganun? Buno-bolo pa kami.
Lalo na, nanalo ng award. Di ba?
Alam mo,
Benta nyo naman yung award. Banggitin nyo naman yung award.
Alam mo, Ronald, wala ka pa rin sweldo kahit anong gawin mo.
Banggitin nyo naman kung anong award yun. Hindi naman 2-5 yung award na yun.
Ano ba yung award yun na, PMAP, What was People Management Association
Yeah,
of the Philippines?
that was same as last year, the TV station of
TV
the
Station
year.
of the Year.
Yes, so yun yung isa natin inaantay, the decision on the MR of
On
the
the
lower
impeachment,
house.
case.
What are the chances na ilalabas pa nila this year, no? I mean,
The Supreme Court is the Supreme Court. It is supreme.
Talagang over na.
do you think maybe next year na to, or because in a few weeks the work starts stopping, right? In a few weeks people will start going off on Christmas break.
Sabi nga ni
Hindi ka
Ronald
tinanong na Ed eh. Dapat tinanong na Ed eh. Hanggang kailan ba yan? Justice, dapat tinanong mo.
talagang ginanon sa ano eh.
Oo. Oo ko yun, tinanong ko yun.
Talagang ginanon sa panel. Teka, huwag muna kayo dyan, ha? Kayo maingay. Ako muna magtatanong.
But
Ganon.
anyway, speaking of the Vice President, the other news, as you mentioned kanina, is the Senate has already approved the
budget.
Office of the Vice President's budget to the tune of 889 million pesos.
Bigger than the House-approved budget.
And this
so
time
they will have to
around,
reconcile.
they approved it in less than 5 minutes. I remember all the drama last year over the OVP's budget. This time around, mukhang they greenlit it in less than 5 minutes, so there's not much drama.
Then again,
at
remember
all.
the proportions in the Senate versus the House. Mas malaki yung proportion ng mga Duterte sympathizers dun sa Senate kaysa sa House.
I think how much was the House version? Hindi ko na maalala. Was it
700 something.
Almost 700 million,
7 something.
right? So still bigger by almost 100 M, I think.
Thereabouts, huh?
Yeah.
I'm looking for it, but yeah, we read it.
But remember, this is already a figure that was taken down from her original proposal. At some point, umabot ng over 1 billion pesos yung proposal ng OVP. This is already cut down from that, and wala nang confidential and intelligence funds.
Okay, the House version was 733 million. The
733.
Senate version is 889
So over
million.
100 million
160,
bigger.
150, 160 million difference.
So yung Senate version of the OVP's budget is about 160 million bigger than what the House proposed.
Tama-tama yan. Para December ulit, ubusin kagad in how many days? Yung difference na yun. Anyway.
Madali yun dahil kahit sa majority kasi may mga pro-Sara eh.
Oo nga, oo naman.
Kaya hindi ganun kahirap yun.
Oo naman.
Aprobahan.
Oo.
Tsaka in terms of proportion you have a bigger proportion talaga in the Senate who are sympathetic to the Dutertes more than in the House. That much is clear.
But
House
yung
mabilis magbago, ihip
sponsor ng budget, who is Senator Bato de la Rosa, is
Is
still
not there.
missing.
Ay, bakit kaya?
Ang sabi nga ni Tito Sen, wala, malaki na yung mga yan. But on the other hand, would we hold our officials to account for failure to appear, even through Zoom?
There has got to be a limit on the number of absences, right? Yun yung tanong ko, how many times can one be absent from official work?
That's the legislation. Ano sabi niya?
Hindi niya daw alam kung may rule about absences.
I remember kasi, Bok, I remember, for example, in the lower chamber, may mga sobrang notorious sa absences, but they are never sanctioned. They're
Sa lower chamber.
They're only cited in the media report, in the media stories na parang ito sa
yun.
katerba mga absences.
Oo.
But other than that, nobody does anything talaga.
But this is the Senate, and
This
there's
is Senate, yeah.
far fewer of them, which means
Mas malaking
impact when one
1/24th.
person is absent. You're one of 23 votes. You're one of
1/24th.
24 votes, right? So, and he was also due to defend the defense
The
budget,
defense.
which is a crucial budget. Hindi rin siya nakapag-defend, so Senator Win Gatchalian took that over.
So I suppose he's really taking steps to
Well, sinagot na to ni Attorney Torion, which is that he will make himself unavailable until such time the government makes it clear ano yung modality na gagamitin sa ICC arrest warrant. So,
sila naman na natitirang modality.
yun nga sabi ko kay Attorney Torion. So, there's
BFF ni Ed.
Hoy, binati niya akong happy birthday,
BFF mo nga.
in fairness kay Atty. Ren, binati niya ang happy birthday. Nung nakita kami sa Davao, batian pa kami.
Tell me who your friends are and I will tell you who you are.
Oo, ganun si Ed eh.
Sabay, lingon-lingon to si Ronaldo. Okay, the other big story is this, of course, from yesterday pa, yung desisyon ng isang COMELEC department to the effect na walang pananagutan, recommendation nila at least, walang pananagutan si Senator Chis Escudero at yung Senator Waste Construction and si Lawrence Fabiano doon sa donation ng 30 million pesos sa kampanya ni Chis Escudero. Now, of course, there's only one case, but you can imagine the repercussions of that in all the other cases that are pending or should be pending before the COMELEC. Kasi remember, there's more than a score. There's more than a dozen cases of donations by owners or officials or officers of contracting companies who made donations to the campaigns of several senators. And including the President and Vice President. Including the President. Including the President. So, may repercussion yan ngayon doon sa mga yun. Will that also mean...
Bakit ang department na yan ang gumawa ng desisyon? Usually kasi ang gagawa dapat niyan yung legal department, yung law department nila.
Is it yung legal? Sabi ni George Garcia, it's really the PFAD, the Political Finance Affairs Division, who will make a decision. I guess because it's the elections of national elections.
I think that's their campaign finance department, meaning that's their specialization, and I'm sure that they have their own set of lawyers. I remember before when we were dealing a lot with the COMELEC nung panahon ni Louis Guia and company, mga abogado rin nandiyan sa departamentong yan. So I presume they also have legal guidance as well. So yun, you might see repercussions down the line doon sa ibang kaso na pending already or dapat isasampa pa lamang o dapat iimbestigahan.
Pero ang president kasi dyan, pag election offenses, such as illegal campaign contributions, ang president dyan yung law department yung president,
You mean the one that should make the call? Is that what you mean?
Yes, pag election offenses. Katulad ng illegal campaign contribution, which is an election offense.
Yeah, but remember, Bok, I think what this department only did, the campaign finance department only did, was to make a recommendation for approval. Was there already a decision on the part of the COMELEC or
I guess this division PFAD brings it to the unbank. And then the unbank rules with finality. But I guess they will take whatever recommendation that the PFAD makes, right? I don't know if there have been cases before na in-overturn nila yung decision ng PFAD. But
I can imagine they have the authority to do that.
This is huge implications on campaign finance laws, right? Because this sets a precedent. Ito na yung nagiging president, right?
Yes.
And if going by their logic, that renders Section 95C of the Omnibus Election Code meaningless because by their logic, no one will be held liable for that violation anymore, right? Because all the contractors have to do is course it through individual persons and they'll never be held accountable, right?
Yes.
So sino na mahuhuli using that law?
Yes.
So why do we even have that provision?
Ang mahuli
kahit
lamang using that law.
Kahit ikaw yung owner, kahit ikaw yung pinakamalaki ang
idadaan mo lang sa iba.
Baliwala.
Yes.
Baliwala. Parang si Ed Lingaw, hiniwalay mo yung kaluluwa sa kanyang katawan.
Alam mo, ang mahuli lamang sa ganyang klaseng patakaran ay yung mga hindi ganun ka ayaw ko sabing bright hindi ganun ka listo at hindi ganun ka swabe sa kanilang
hindi ganun ka savvy sa
Like for example, I'm going by the PCIJ story that was released earlier this year, where the PCIJ listed yung mga donors na kontratista or donors na nagmamay-ari ng mga contracting companies. So, yan, you have President Marcos received 20 or 30 million pesos in donations from Rod Hilot, the owner of Rod Hill Construction, which has contracts as well. So, apektado rin yan. But down the line, you will see one construction company that made a donation to one senator. Hindi ito may-ari, hindi ito board of directors, hindi. Yung kumpanya mismo na kontratista ang nag-donate sa isang senador. So parang, kung yung iba nag-ingat, ito hindi.
Reg, ang laki na implication niyan, hindi lang sa mga kaso sa COMELEC. Yung anti-corruption campaign mismo ng gobyerno maapektuhan. Di ba? Sabihin ng mga contractor na huhulihin, di ba? Na hindi, hiwalay yan. Hiwalay yung aming ginagawa bilang mga individual, iba yung ginagawa ng aming kumpanya. Sinisimulan ng gamitin yan bilang argumento nito mga kakasuhan, di ba?
Yeah.
Dito sa anti-corruption campaign. No? Kaya ang laking tulong ng departamento na yan, ng COMELEC, no? Para ma-weaken yung ating mga institusyon. Yan exactly ang ginagamit na dahilan nito mga pro-RevGov, pro-military junta na wala tayong aasahan sa ating mga institusyon. No? Kahit sobrang garapal na, gagawin pa rin. Yan yung nakakatakot dyan sa decision na yan.
Oo. I agree. It weakens the institution and also undermines public trust in the democratic processes, right? Because if COMELEC, which is tasked with upholding our elections, can't even enforce their own rules and their own laws, what does that say about the rest of our institutions, right? Klarong-klaro naman dito, and as we were talking about yesterday, the decision violates the spirit of the law because don't forget, si Lawrence Lubiano is not just the incorporator of Centerways, but also they have deep family and political ties, the Lubianos and the Escuderos. So, in 2025, si Chis Escudero endorsed both of Lawrence's brothers, Chuck and Lester, in their 2025 local campaigns. So si Lester naging the sister of Chis Escudero nominated Chuck for Donsol Mayor and Lester for City Councilor in Sorsogon. Chis Escudero was also seen campaigning for the Lubiano brothers sometime in 2024. And remember that the Escuderos have held their district in Sorsogon for many years, over 3 decades na yata. So their they have a real stronghold of that province, and yun nga, itong si Lawrence Lubiano has brothers in government too. So again, where do you get off telling us na hindi mo alam bawal mag-donate ang contractor to political campaigns, right?
At saka, Reg, ang dami nakuhang billions na kontrata ni Lubiano na karamihan ay ginawa sa Sorsogon.
Yes, correct.
No? Ang dami, billions,
80 flood control contracts worth over 5.1 billion pesos. This is Centerways Construction. This is based on data from the Sumbong sa Pangulo website, and this is just for the years 2022 to 2024. Imagine 80 flood control contracts worth over 5.1 billion, and out of that, 53 projects were located in Sorsogon. So again, stronghold ni Senator Chis Escudero. Combined value ng 53 projects that are located in Sorsogon is 2.85 billion pesos. So clearly, they made most of their money from Sorsogon. And again,
hindi lang siya isang smoking gun. Smoking guns. Ang dami.
No, hindi siya basically kung binasa mo yung decision ng COMELEC, it says the crux of it says Lawrence Lubiano is not Centerways and Centerways is not Lawrence Lubiano, which is completely I don't think it's not right, because the Lubiano brothers incorporated Centerways, and they clearly get their political their wealth, their money to fund campaigns from this construction company, right? So I wonder if COMELEC made an effort to try to trace the money trail, right? Kung humingi sila ng mga financial disclosures, ng mga documents from Lawrence Lubiano to try to trace man lang, or they just went by yung response that Lawrence Lubiano and Senator Chis Escudero gave.
But an interesting piece of trivia here is you do remember na si COMELEC Chairman George Garcia inhibited himself from the discussion of Jesus Escudero's case. Si George Garcia, before he became COMELEC chairperson or chairman, was the election lawyer of Jesus Escudero in the 2022 election campaign. In fact, siya yung nag-file ng, siya pa yung nagpakita ng COC ni Jesus Escudero sa media.
So, sabi niya, nag-inhibit daw siya from this decision, which is why when
Yeah,
we
right.
reached out to him to ask him ano na yung update, he said he can't talk about it because he inhibited from the case and he recommended Commissioner Bulay instead.
Pasok muna ako sa kuweba, ha?
But-
Baka nandun si Chairman Garcia.
No. But whatever the case is, if we can get Chairman Garcia on the line later in the show, let's still try to do that. Kasi whether he wants to talk about how this department deliberated on the issue is one aspect only. It's also the implications down the line of this recommendation on the other cases outside of Escudero that may be affected by this recommendation. Again, you were looking at several senators and congressmen and the president as well. And maybe even the VP. Pero the president himself, dalawang donor niya may pagmamayari ng dalawang contracting firms. So, dun pa lang.
Yes. Ang linaw naman kasi, Ed, di ba? Anong ibig sabihin ng natural and juridical persons? Di ba? Paliwanag mo nga, Ed, dahil learned ka eh.
Hindi ako ganun ka-learned, hindi ko nahihimayan eh.
Attorney
But-
Torion, di ba? Ang
but you know-
linaw-linaw eh, no?
But you know-
Natural and juridical persons who have contracts with the government. Ano ba namang interpretasyon ang gusto pa nilang gawin diyan, no?
Pero kahapon, kagabi, we had Attorney Macalintal. Attorney Mac, Romulo. Sorry. Attorney Romulo Macalintal. And he agrees na alangan ng sitwasyon kung saan makakalusot yung mga nagdo-donate just because ibang juridical entity yung kumpanya versus yung official. But on the other hand, sabi niya, and this is his point of view, sabi niya, pero ang kailangan mo talaga yan is a law that will amend the Omnibus Election Code to make that distinction clearer. Without that kind of an amendment, you are stuck with the Corporation Code, which according to Attorney Mac, says daw na magkaiba daw talaga yung dalawa. But then again, yun nga, also
Actually,
the doctrine
yan ang problema sa atin, Ed.
piercing the corporate veil.
Sabi ng mga foreigners, sobrang dami nyo ng laws. Eh.
Kaya
That's
nga
true.
eh,
Sobrang
we have a
dami
lot
ng
of laws.
specific laws.
So that only the lawyers understand what they're talking about.
We don't
to
need more
amend a law.
laws. It's-
Sobrang dami na nating law. Ang linaw-linaw naman ng spirit.
Yes.
Di ba? Ang linaw-linaw naman ng essence.
Yeah.
Kalokohan na yan eh.
That's
It's
also
the
where you go into
interpretation of it.
what is the
Pagalit.
spirit of the law. The spirit of the law, I suppose, is to prevent conflict of interest and undue influence. And yeah, also the concept of of piercing the corporate veil, that's also recognized by the higher courts. Although on the other hand, it's also seen as more of an exception than the rule. Yung the need to pierce the corporate veil. So may ganung back and forth eh. I mean, talking about Tony Mac and like I was saying before, si former Commissioner Louis Guia of the COMELEC had also that same opinion eh.
So maybe it's not so much crafting a law, but closing the loophole in that
Loophole. There's
provision.
a loophole, oo.
So you just have to amend it to make
Yeah.
sure we close the provision.
Yeah. Ang problema mo is
in terms
why
of
will Congress
semantics,
do that?
Very basic kasi yung sinabi ni Ed eh. Yung piercing the corporate
Piercing the corporate veil.
Very basic yan eh.
Yes.
Dapat ginagawa yan eh. Unless natutulog ka sa pansitan.
Hindi,
Diba? Kung
Ronald,
natutulog ka sa pansitan, hindi mo talaga magagawa yan.
nung kinausap namin si Chairman George before this decision pa, many months ago, sabi nga niya, there is a principle of piercing the corporate veil which we can apply to this. That's why when we got the decision yesterday, nagtataka ako, bakit hindi nila ginamit yun? Because, if you look deeper, you will find that, yun nga, Lawrence Lubiano is himself center-raised because he started it.
Yes!
We're not saying na, okay, you own a construction company and you hire the president na outsider and that president donates to a campaign. Yun, hiwalay yun. You could argue natural and juridical entities are separate. But if you're the one that started and founded the company, tapos yung wealth mo is derived primarily from that, you win government contracts, and then also you have family members in politics. How could you still argue na hindi mo alam, di ba?
Just for the elucidation of the viewing public, when you talk about piercing the corporate veil, that's a legal doctrine that says that the courts are allowed to disregard a corporation's separate legal entity and thereby hold its owners liable for corporation acts. Kumbaga, yun nga in some cases, ang korte maaaring i-disregard yung idea na magkahiwalay ang corporate entity at ang
tao sa korporasyon. So, Philippine jurisprudence allows the piercing of the corporate veil when it's used to defeat public convenience, justify wrong, protect fraud, or defend crime. So, again, klaro naman yung jurisprudence.
So we will have far-reaching consequences.
But because, I guess because we're not learned enough, hindi natin makita what the problem is.
Tinayo ng mga Lubiano, yung Centerways. Sila ang may-ari, no? Tapos ngayon, ihiwalay mo sa kanila. Very glaring naman yan. Huwag naman masyado ikis-kis sa mukha natin. Puro galos na nga yung mukha natin sa kakakis-kis nito mga ito eh. Tapos ikikis-kis pa yan.
Ronald, tuloy mo yung kwento. So, nag-donate ng 30 million kay Senator Cheese, 2022. In 2025, it was Senator Cheese's turn to pay the favor back. So, in-endorse niya for local positions yung mga kapatid ni Lawrence Lubiano na si Chuck and si Lester Lubiano sa Sorsogon, which, as we keep saying, is his family's stronghold. So, nandun na yung quid pro quo eh. I mean, you could, it's pretty clear, right?
Lalo na yung billions in projects na binanggit mo kanina. Yun ang elephant in the room.
80 flood, repeat ko lang, 80 flood control projects worth 5.1 billion. That's just from 2022 to 2024. Of these, 53 projects were located in Sorsogon with a combined value of 2.85 billion pesos. Again, that's based on data that we got from the Sumbong sa Pangulo website. That's 2022-2024 Centerways. And kahit hindi mo pa, even if you don't dig through the data, I mean, President Marcos himself said in his list, di ba, nandun yung Centerways amongst the top 15 contractors in the Philippines.
Okay, pakita ko na ba itong PCIJ story published in September lang, 2025. Ito yung lista ng PCIJ ng mga tumanggap ng campaign donations from those linked to government contractors and franchisees. Number one, of course, si President Bongbong Marcos, coming from Rodolfo Hilot at 20 million pesos. Rodolfo Hilot owns Rood Hill Construction Corporation, a DPWH contractor. Number two is also BBM from Jonathan Quirante, 1 million. Quirante owns Quirante Construction Corporation, a DPWH contractor. VP Sa Duterte, SDEVCO Realty Corporation with ads worth 19.9 million. SDEVCO's top shareholder, Glenn Escandor, owns Genesis 88 Construction, which is also a public works contractor. Of course, Senator Chis Escudero with 30 million from Lawrence Lubiano. And Chis Escudero from Arnel Isilen Peil, who owns AIP Construction, a public works contractor, for 10 million ang kanyang donations. Down the line, also Maynard Ngu for Chis Escudero, CEO ng Cosmic Technologies, DepEd Contractor. 30 million naman yon. Ito yung sasabi ko kanina. Senator Joel Villanueva, this is the PCIJ website, Senator Joel Villanueva received 20 million pesos from New San Jose Builders, which is an NHA contractor. Ito yung talagang hindi na itago.
What do you mean hindi natago?
Yung contractor mismo yung nag-donate.
Because it's not a individual.
It's not the official or the owner or the founder. It's
so,
the
nilagay
contractor
nila
mismo.
under the company mismo. So,
although
we'll see.
Hindi siya public works, NHA
We'll see.
siya. Pero contractor pa rin.
Ito na yung next case that we should ask them about. Diba? How will you decide on this? Alam mo sabihin mo, New San Jose
This is
Builders
2022 pa. This is 2022. And that's for 20 million pesos. I remember kasi when we ask about these cases, ang sabi sa atin ni Chairman George Garcia, he has to check first with DPWH.
Tama.
kung totoong
Kailangan
kontratista
nila
mga
na
to.
certificate proving that they are government contractors.
But remember, the prohibition is not only for DPWH contractors, but for all government contractors. In this
Correct.
case of San Jose, it's an NHA contractor daw.
Actually, kahit nagsusupply ka lang ng
supplier
paper,
contractors, yeah.
if you're a supplier to the government of bond paper, pencil, or stationery, hindi ka rin pwede mag-donate. That's what the Omnibus Election Code makes clear.
So, people tend to think na, DPWH contractors lang bawal.
Hindi,
Hindi po.
kahit ano.
Lahat ng kontratista at supplier ng gobyerno, basta may kontrata ka sa gobyerno, pinagbabawalan po kayo na mag-donate.
Exactly. Pero
Yan ang ibig sabihin ng impunity eh. Yan ang ibig sabihin. You can get away with almost anything. Diba?
yeah.
Kahit ang linaw-linaw na,
Mali.
papalukutin pa ng mga tao mo sa gobyerno. Diba? Yan ang nakakagalit eh. Ito sa nangyayari
Ngayon,
ito.
The law is very clear.
Ngayon, what would really be interesting is if we see what will happen in this particular case. Kasi ito, this appears to be a glaring case eh. Yung New San Jose
Siguro
Builders.
nagkamali lang sila. They decided to put the corporate name under it. Right?
I don't know.
But,
This is based on the sources.
ito pa, I will argue that obviously Senator Joel Villanueva is not a neophyte lawmaker, so he should know the bawal ang donations from contractors, right?
Should, could, would. Ronald, sabihin mo nga sa kanya. Say your spiel.
Sige na, say it. Say it. You're dying to.
Okay na
Should,
ako
could,
dahil
would.
minsan lang kami magkaparehas ng posisyon ni principal eh. O kontrahin ko pa.
Oo nga naman. So, yun. Actually, marami pang iba eh. Ilang, these are other cases na. For example, si Leandro Lebiste.
Oh, yun. That's another unique case, no? Yung,
Franchise holder naman ng kanyang Solar Philippines when he made a donation of 100 million pesos to his mother. Lauren Legal. Some people may argue, nanay niya yan eh. Wala namang distinction sa
Di
batas
pwede
kung nanay mo
yun.
kamag-anak
Di
mo eh.
pwede yun. No.
But what's important lang kasi is that franchise holder ang Solar Philippines.
So yun pa yung hindi natin isa na mention. You're not just, di lang bawal ang contractors and suppliers as long as
Franchisers,
yeah, franchise
franchisees
holders.
pala.
Mga, for obvious reasons, di ba?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you cannot, if you're...
Because the franchise is granted by the government.
Correct. Granted by Congress specifically. So, there should not be any
May conflict of interest yun.
conflict of interest or quid pro quo situation here.
Parang may apparent conflict din yun kasi, di ba?
Kasi franchise holder siya.
Hindi, tsaka nanay niya is was in Congress.
Oh, sabagay. Oo nga.
Okay, anyway. Galing na tayo sa loob ng kuweba.
Sabihin na naman
Okay.
nila we don't understand. Kaya nga, we were really trying to get the COMELEC officials who were involved in these decisions para ma-explain naman nila what the thinking was behind this. I mean, nabasa ko na yung
Decision, yung recommendation.
But it doesn't make sense to me.
Teka,
So I won't be able to
it's a
talk to
recommendation,
them.
no? It's a recommendation.
It's
not
a recommendation,
decision.
oh.
Yun ang political statement. It doesn't make sense to me.
Bakit?
Yun yung mahalaga.
Bakit siya political statement? It's not a political statement. I just want clarity on this. I want to hear what your line of thinking was when you decided there's no violation here. Yun yung gusto ko malaman.
Sa headline, Regional A. Bakit?
It doesn't make sense to me.
Hindi, because binasa ko na yung recommendation, binasa ko yung Omnibus Election Code, binasa ko din yung ibang parts ng Omnibus Election Code outside of 95C. So, I mean, I don't know, as a layperson, as a voting citizen, as a law-abiding citizen, it's pretty clear to me what the law exists for.
Isa lang ang ibig sabihin nun eh.
Ano?
Either ako yung bobo o kayo yung bobo. Yun lang ang ibig sabihin. It doesn't make sense to me. Tingin ko naman, di naman bobo si Reds. Kaya, sino kaya?
Hindi naman. Hindi ko naman sinasabi may bobo. I'm just saying, I wanna
Understand.
I wanna understand.
Comprehend.
Paliwanag ko pa.
I wanna
Be
understand
enlightened.
the other way of looking at this.
Get perspectives. Differing perspectives.
Katulad nung we're going to semantics na, just like when I said that Senator Bato de la Rosa was in hiding, sabi ni
Not
Attorney
in hiding.
Torion. No, he's not in hiding. He's
Just making himself scarce.
making himself unavailable.
Unavailable. Parang ano lang yan eh. Parang yung...
Semantics lang.
Ano yung... Hindi siya fugitive, si Kibuloy.
Oo, hindi siya fugitive. Ano siya? I forgot na
Hindi na
yung,
siya in hiding.
I forgot yung euphemism nila.
Diba? We had that great debate. Hindi siya in hiding, hindi siya fugitive. Hanggang sa nahuli siya, hindi naman nagbago yung hindi naman nagbago yung sitwasyon, pero hindi pa rin siya fugitive.
Bobo na kami eh. Lalo pa kami nabobobo. Bobo na nga kami to start with.
Just like, oy, teka lang.
Basta it doesn't make sense to me, ah. It doesn't make sense to me, ah.
It doesn't make sense to me. Sabihin ko yan kay Chair. Pero hindi nga kasi siya kasama dun sa decision eh. So I need to talk to somebody who was part of that decision.
We'll still try to get Bulay.
Oh, we're still
They're
gonna try to get
they're not in hiding, ah. They're not in hiding. They're just scared.
Teka lang.
Scars.
Speaking of semantics, have we settled the debate? Was Harry Roque's asylum application rejected by the Netherlands or no? Was it denied or no? Sabi niya it wasn't.
Ang sabi niya, hindi. Kasi to begin with daw, he does not even have to apply again. That's
Yes.
according to him. Whatever application he had or he submitted will be the one to be considered by Austria. Kasi it's only
I
one
wonder if
immigration
it
area
means,
daw.
oo.
That's what he said.
Kasi somebody pointed out, I mean, it made sense to me when I read that. Somebody pointed out na, why would Netherlands go through all that trouble of shipping you off to another entity, right? Like, sila pa daw nagbayad ng flight, sila pa nagbayad ng baggage, and then they escorted you pa. I wonder if, do they do that for all of their asylum seekers? I don't think so, right? Unless, I don't know, baka may alam si Ronald.
Ang sabi nga ni Harry sa interview niya kay Maharlika the night before or the other night was hindi ko alam bakit atat na atat tong Netherlands na policy na ako.
Oo.
Hindi niyo ba lang itanong sa kanya, paano niya na-maintain yung kanyang lifestyle?
Tinanong
Diyan
ko.
sa Netherlands?
I did.
Yung bahay niya, yung mga damit niya, yung pagkain niya. Diba? Tinanong mo, Rich?
Yeah, I did. Sabi niya, well, first of all, he's benefiting from the goodness of the OFWs there.
Netherlands government.
Nag-downgrade na siya ng bahay. He's packed up his condo and he's gonna be renting a one-bedroom sa isang apartment na isang Filipino family there. Nakapag-stay din yata siya sa refugee center at some point.
Pero parang refugee processing area eh.
Oo, at some point.
Na government-sponsored eh. So may ganun siyang bitaw eh, na parang...
nagpa-guesting pa siya doon sa bahay niya, di ba? Nakita niyo yun? Yung tinutuloyan niya.
Oo. So, yeah, so sabi naman niya, he's okay to downgrade. Pwede naman siya mag-adjust. He thinks matagal-tagal pa siya doon because he...
Bawas sa humba.
Confident naman siya that,
yung sinasabi niya na if he is not sent to Austria by December 10, then the jurisdiction reverts back to Netherlands.
They have to decide by then.
Which I suppose in his case works in his favor kasi he would rather be in the Netherlands where he is closer, in close proximity to Digong versus Austria. Babiyahe-biyahe.
Hindi pumasok na rin siya sa kulungan sa ICC para very close siya.
Hindi nga siya makapasok eh. He's not family, di ba?
Hindi ibig sabihin. Iba ibig niya sabihin. Yan ba? Kita mo itsura niya, no? Iba ibig niya sabihin.
So malicious. Okay, we'll leave that there. Hindi na tayo sinagot ni Chair George Garcia when we tried calling him. But anyways,
we'll try to get him pa rin
we'll try to get one of the other commissioners to settle this
Narinig
debate.
ni Chairman Garcia yung statement ni Reg. It makes no sense to me. Kaya yun na, hindi na sumagot.
To his credit, hindi naman siya natatakot sa hard questions eh. To be fair, I pressed him on a number of things before. Pero nga, strike 3 na to kasi number 1 is yung premature campaigning. Hindi nila maayos-ayos yung premature campaigning rules. Number 2 is yung SOSE. Wala naman pala sa website when I checked. And number 3 na ito. So, strike 3 na to, Commissioner. But anyways, we'll leave that there. Thank you so much for joining us, Storycon today. Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit. Join us again tomorrow, 4 p.m. for Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Edlin Gao, kapatid. We are one news, all sides, all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.